But we went to Warped Tour, just showed up, walked in the office and said, where's our passes? Where's the shit? And when do we play? And why aren't we on the bill? What the hell's going on? You guys are fucking dropping the ball. And they just went nuts, and they're making phone calls, and they're calling and shit. And we were like, we want to talk to Kevin. We want to talk to Kevin Lyman right now. We want to talk to Kevin. And they were like, Kevin's busy, man. He's fucking, his hands are busy. Hands are tied. And we're like, well, this is crap. This is bullshit. And they just kept arguing that we weren't, and arguing that we weren't, and we kept arguing that we were, and arguing that we were. And they were like, all right, we'll call Kevin. And they called him, and he's like, I don't know who these guys are, but just tell them they're on at 3:30.
Hello, welcome to 3 Gigs, the podcast that tells the stories of 3 shows that have had a profound effect on a performer's very life and career. Their first show, their best show, and their worst show. I'm your host, Dominic Davy, and today we're talking to the man, the myth, and the legend himself, DBC, creator of bands like the Lobstrosities, the Outlaw Dance Society, Double Block and Bleed, Scattered Fall, and many, many more. This episode of 3 Gigs is brought to you by FreshCleanTees.com. It works like a shave club, but they send you t-shirts, super awesome t-shirts. And they have a special offer for all the listeners of 3 Gigs. Save 20% off your first order by going to FreshCleanTees.com and entering the coupon code GIG at checkout. That's FreshCleanTees.com with offer code GIG. DBC may not be completely known nationwide to all of you, but he honestly should be. He's what I like to call Northern California's best-kept musical secret. His bands Scattered Fall, the Lobstrosities, Hudson Criminal, the Outlaw Dance Society, and Double Block and Bleed, or just a few I can name off the top of my head, are the stuff of local legend. In each of these bands, DBC has been testing the limits of what punk rock is and what it could be. And the only thing they all have in common is that they're all the kind of band you see and you think to yourself, why is this band not humongous? They're so good. Literally every band I've ever seen this guy in has been incredible, and I'm a huge fan of his, even if he doesn't realize it. DBC himself was born and raised in Stockton, California, and he likes to describe himself as
a very caring and very loving piece of shit.
I'm not sure I agree with that piece of shit part, since he's actually one of the sweetest people out there. And like I said, he's an incredible musician and performer. He's been in a lot of bands and he's had a lot of adventures, and I was thrilled to have a chance to sit down with him and hear his stories, starting with the very first show he's ever played.
Okay, the very first show that I ever played, oh wow. I was playing bass for a band called SOL. Yes, I was in a band called SOL. And we were just a bunch of obnoxious kids, probably around 16, 17, somewhere around there. And we played in Tracy, California at, I think it was like a tattoo shop. And it was it was okay. It was cool. We were outside and in the sun. But we had so our guitar player had been in a band called 3 Day Weekend, which you know.
Yep, I remember 3 Day Weekend.
So Stench, Josh Highscale, he'd been playing and stuff, so he knew what he was doing. And all 3 other members had never played a show ever. We were all rookies. So, yeah, we played outside in the sun, and got sunburnt to extreme degrees, and it was pretty good. I mean, we did good. We played well. None of us really bombed, you know. We did all right, but it was just really crusty punk rock stuff, and so, you know, it's never that important to play all that well. And that was the very first show that I ever played. The first show that see, now that band was kind of a little, you know, it was your babies, man, you know. So the first, when I really think about my first show was with Scattered Fall, and that was when I was playing bass in Scattered Fall. And the very first show that we got, the very first one, was with the Nerve Agents.
Oh, wow.
Way up in the, yeah, I know. I still don't know how we pulled that. And that was already like second album Nerve Agents. I have no idea how he pulled it. Robin works, our singer is a magical man, and he got the show, and we played way up in the mountains, man, like up towards, like, I don't know, Sonora or you know, Angels Camp, like up there somewhere. And
the boonies.
yeah, and I just remember, yeah, way out in the middle of nowhere. And I just remember I think at that time I was probably like 18, and these guys are just killing the scene. Like, nobody could touch these guys. And we got a show with them somehow, and we opened up for them. And I believe one of the other bands that played was the Lab Rats, which I don't know if you remember those guys. They were even younger than us. I think they were like 15, 16, and 17, and they were amazing. And we had to kind of compete with these two amazing bands on our very, very first show. And that one, for me, when I think of my first show, that's really it for me, because, you know, the other one was kind of, you know, I was just a little baby, and I guess it was technically my first show, but that was my first real show.
So tell me about, moving to the next one, tell me about one of your favorite shows you've ever played.
One of my favorite shows I've ever played.
It's a tough question.
All right. Well, it's a very tough question. I've played with amazing bands throughout the years, with you and Tsunami Bomb and you know, everybody from like the Dwarves, and I mean, one time, well, this is a friend of our friend's band from here in Stockton, came up with this idea. The band was called COD. I know you know them. COD.
Yep.
From Stockton, California. They came up with the idea, and we decided to steal it. And we go to, I think you were there, actually. I don't know. But we went to Warped Tour, and we just pulled up in a van full of equipment, and a friend, our drummer knew one of the guys from Anti-Flag, and he got him in the gate somehow, and they got a couple more of us in the gate somehow, and we just went into the office, like, and we're like, hey, where's our passes and where's our shit? Now, we've never talked to anybody at all.
Oh
whatsoever.
My God.
Okay, we just showed up, walked in the office and said, where's our passes, where's our shit, and when do we play, and why aren't we on the bill? What the hell's going on? You guys are fucking dropping the ball. And they just went nuts, and they're making phone calls, and they're calling shit. And we were like, we want to talk to Kevin. We want to talk to Kevin Lyman right now. We want to talk to Kevin. And they were like, Kevin's busy, man. He's fucking, you know, his hands are busy. Hands are tied. And we're like, well, this is crap. This is bullshit. And so after a while of it was me and Robin. We're in there. This is Scattered Fall, by the way.
Are you serious? I think I remember this.
Oh, yeah.
And this is amazing. You just walked in and demanded that you were on the show.
and demanded that we were on, and they just kept arguing that we weren't, and arguing that we weren't, and we kept arguing that we were, and arguing that we were, and they were like, all right, we'll call Kevin. And they called him, and he's like, I don't know who these guys are, but just tell them they're on at 3:30. And he put us on the Kevin Says stage, and he just put us on, and we played. And we played Warped Tour on the Kevin Says stage at 3. He just found a spot. I mean, come on, dude, it's genius. This is genius shit. It wasn't. Don't twist me, man. This was not my idea. I just went along with it. But genius, and yeah, and we played.
Oh my God, that's amazing. How'd you do?
So that one was actually pretty fun. That was a pretty interesting show to play Warped Tour. And then actually I actually did that 2 years in a row. I actually did it 2 years in a row. I did it with COD because their bass player was in like Hawaii at the time. So I actually went there with COD, and I practiced with them that morning for the first time ever. We woke up at like 6 and practiced, and I had never played any of these songs before. And we went to Warped Tour and we did that. And then the next year, Scattered Fall was like, let's do that. And we were like, okay. And we went back and we did it. The shitty thing was they put us on at the same time as AFI.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. So it was like, not the biggest crowd in the world that we had, but fucking still pretty good, man. Still pretty good.
That was the revenge. That was the revenge for bum rushing Warped Tour. Was they were going to put you against AFI?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's the death zone right there. There's nobody else is going.
Yeah, yeah, you're kind of screwed, And this was you got to remember, this was, oh boy, I would say 2002 or 2000. Yeah, I'd say 2002, 2003. So this is, dude, AFI was just through the roof. So it was Death Zone for sure. But that was a really good show. That's a good story show.
That's a good story. 2003 also, yeah. I think that was the year AFI was on it. So was Tsunami Bomb. That's why I was there. That's why I remember this, because I was there for this.
Yes. Yes. So that's why I said, I think you were there. Yeah, I think you were there. But I think one of my, more recent shows, one of my more recent favorite shows was Screw 32's first show back after 20 years, 20 plus years. And it was not only was the show ridiculous, it had the Missing 23rd, Fury 66, the Swingin' Utters, Good Riddance, Leftover Crack, and Suicidal Tendencies. And we get the opportunity to get on this show in Santa Cruz with all these Santa Cruz, bands. And this is our first show back after, I don't even know how many years. So 20 plus. So that was amazing. It was really cool because I grew up on Screw 32. I was a kid, dude. I was probably, 13 or 14 or 13 and was listening to this band and just listening to it my whole life. And so the opportunity to be a part of that, and then not only to be a part of that, but to work through, and there were lots of hurdles that we had to go through. Right now, there's been a lot.
Been a lot of hurdles.
Which some of that.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of hurdles, and some of that. But yeah, there's been a lot of hurdles, but we finally are ready. We're stage ready, we're ready to do it. And that's the show that we get. We get a show with all those amazing bands, it's
fantastic.
It was, it was I was nervous for the first time, and I don't even know how long. I don't know if you've seen footage from that show.
I have. It was incredible.
You've never seen me move any less than that. Like,
No.
unless I was asleep. I was like, I was nervous, man. It was intense. Yeah, and I don't do that. You know me, man. I'm weathered, dude. I've been around the block, but that was intense. And then
it must have been like a dream come true, though, because like you're playing with a band that you've always loved, and then you're playing on this incredibly huge show. It's completely sold out, and
completely, it's sold out, and like, it's so quick. And then not only that, but once again, we're going back. The Missing 23rd comes on and rips it apart, just kills it. Who comes next? Swingin' Utters. When do they not kill it? Okay,
especially
and they
now.
were like extra amazing. By the way, which now Luke is playing, my old band, Hudson Criminal. My old drummer is playing drums for them now. So
yeah, they have Luke and they have Jack from One Man Army and Dead to Me. Jack,
yeah,
he's
dude,
incredible.
And Jack, and then so it's just everybody's killing it, and it was just they sounded so amazing, and then Fury 66 gets on and just annihilates the place, and I go, what am I supposed to do now? You know, like, how am I supposed to? It was that intimidation thing, man. Like, I was like waiting. I was waiting for somebody to mess up. Like, just make one mistake, just one little one, so like I won't feel so bad when I go out there and fuck something up.
I completely understand.
Dude, it was amazing. And we played, and the crowd was great, dude. We had I think there was like 4 guys that like flew in from like Japan. Like, there was people from freaking all over the States, man, like all over the States that, came out. And one of my oldest friends from here in town, Rodney, he's been living in Southern California. He took a bus, man. He sat on a bus, him and his buddy, for, like hours and hours and hours. And they, all just to come to this show. And everybody's heart was there and in it. And it was, dude, it was amazing, man. It was really amazing.
That's fantastic.
So that's my, that was a big one. And then we also just played Gilman, last week, and we headlined that one, and we were able to get a really really good friends of mine, their band, Trucker Dad. They're all pretty much all Stockton guys, and they're a really great band. We were able to get them on the show because everybody's that's kind of how Screw 32 works. Is we ask, everything is okay. What are we gonna do? It's always everybody's opinion counts. And I've told them from day one, these guys are great. You won't be disappointed. Get them on the show. And they got them on the show. They killed it. Trucker Dad is always amazing. They killed it. Every band killed it. And the place was packed. And it was just, but that show, I was a little more comfortable. I didn't have so much pressure. So I was able to play bass a little more like DBC. And we got a little rowdy. You might have heard about that show. Did you hear about that show?
What, the Gilman show? I was there.
It's a joke, fucker. I'm joking with you. I'm pulling you.
I was like, you out of your mind? I was there.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking, I talked to you. I literally came up and told you that your show was just okay. Like, that's what I literally said when it was. And it was incredible.
You know that they took the word gullible out of the dictionary. Come on, Dom. Jesus, man. So that show was a lot more comfortable, and now I'm feeling better, like, about playing, because we're starting to, it's one thing to be in a practice space. it's a whole nother story to be on a stage, and to share a stage with somebody changes the dynamic. And
completely.
We're like, yeah. And so now we're like starting to go, okay, now we got to feel. This is feeling good. So,
yeah.
Yeah. You want me to tell you 12 other good shows I played?
No, I think that'll do. Those are great. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, tell me finally. Those are great stories. Tell me finally about one of the worst shows that you've ever had to play. Like, what was one of the worst shows you've ever had to play?
I will tell you. It was on Scattered Falls' first tour, and we were on tour with Thought Riot, which was a Modesto, California-based band. Very fucking good. They were on AF Records.
Right, I remember them. They
Doing
were great.
Okay. Yeah, they were really great. Still, yeah, they're still relevant. They're really great. But it was just the two of us, just the two bands. We're on tour. And well, we did 3 shows in Arizona with Life in Pictures, which was this like, dude, they were like so hard and so like really metal, but like, I don't know, they were really good. They were really good. And they became like really good friends of ours. Even though I haven't spoke to them in years now, so that's unfortunate. But other than that, it was just us two bands. And so we go down to Southern California, play a couple shows. We go through Arizona, play like a few shows. I think 3 shows in Arizona. We go to New Mexico, and the first show was okay. The second show was canceled, and we end up at this house, like this squat pad, man, this house. And funny story, actually, there were all these like, dude, there was a guy sitting on the floor eating glass. I'm not fucking joking. This is not an exaggeration.
What?
He's searching through the fucking carpet for broken glass, because that's the kind of house this was, that there was enough around that he could find it in the carpet if he looked hard enough. So this guy's sitting there eating broken glass.
Oh my God.
There's like all these super, super gutter punk fucking guys, right? And we never got to play. They canceled the show. So they just go, well, we're sorry, but you can come stay at our house. We're there for like 10 minutes before we go. Is this a good decision? Because these fucking guys are nuts, right? I think this is Santa Fe, man, right? So
it's weird out there. That city is a weird.
Yeah, man.
Like they joke about how it's a weird place, like a spiritual place, and I would completely agree. Like I've had some weird adventures out there.
Yeah, and they were like, they saw, because I have a filth tattoo, and they were like, is that a filth tattoo? And apparently they were claiming, I never got confirmation on this, but they're claiming that Jake from Filth was living out there, and he just happened to not be there at the time. And anyway, they kind of went crazy, and they're fucking all these crazy gutter punk fucking guys, right? And I go into one of the bedrooms. I'm not shitting you. I go into one of the bedrooms, and there's a tsunami bomb. The bottle with the skull and bones. There's a tsunami bomb poster on the wall.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not joking. I'm fucking telling you the goddamn honest truth. You can ask my boys. They'll back it up. And I was like, did you guys look like, well, for one, there's a guy eating glass in the living room, you know? there was this couple, and they were like, there was a mannequin, and they were like, I think they were having sex with this goddamn mannequin. The whole 3 of them. It was like a threesome between this couple and the mannequin. It was fucked up. Everything about this is just shit. And just screams, just run away. But at the same time, they were nice enough. So we're like, yeah, well, you know, and it's a place to stay. And I go in the room, and there's a goddamn, I'm like, you're listening to Tsunami Bomb? Really? Like, to watch a guy eating glass, and then to think, do 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 do. I'm like, really right now? This is fucking happening. All right, well, you know, you just roll with it. You go, okay, you know, fucking whatever. So anyway, so
I like your version of Lemonade. That was a great cover of Lemonade, by the way.
Yeah.
Acapella, no less.
I got it. But so the show's fucking canceled. We end up at this crazy squat pad, fucking, I don't know, madhouse of a place. I don't know. They gave me a bunch of booze and I passed out. And I don't even remember. I know Fetus wouldn't even fucking come inside, dude. He was like, nope, I'm sleeping in the van. He was like, fuck that. And he slept in the van and it was freezing. But, so the show's canceled, so we have this shit show. And we're like, okay, don't worry. The next show is going to be great. So.
I've said that so many times.
Yeah. And I know, and you're going to love. I probably don't even have to describe the show to you. I'll just tell you that the next show was in El Paso, Texas.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And we drive into El Paso. No offense to anybody in El Paso, but Jesus fucking Christ. It's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, the middle of nowhere. And it's a bar, and it's directly the only other thing on the block that I can remember is this like XXX video store directly across the street, and it was like not even like a good one. It was in El Paso, Texas, fucking XXX video store, and oh god, and so we pull in.
I think I know this bar.
And
honestly.
And probably, and you know, the funny thing is, here it comes again. Here it comes again. I'm like sucking your dick like this whole time. The fucking dude, there were 3 kids at the show. 3 kids.
Wow.
They had seen us with Tsunami Bomb at the Phoenix Theater. Well, they were like on vacation or something, visiting family or some shit. Okay. 3 kids. They had seen us with Tsunami Bomb. So they go, oh, you know, we're going to go to the show. They drove like an hour and a half or something to get to El Paso, Texas. They're not from there. They're just, you know, they drove there to see the show. And 3 kids. And then the rest are literally like, I think there was like 9 guys wearing like American flag bandanas and just like shouting like play Guns N' Roses. Like it was terrible. And so Thought Riot goes, well, you know, it's a good practice, you know, like, yeah, fuck it, you know, just play whatever. We were like, no, these kids drove an hour and a half to see us play. It doesn't matter that there's only 3 of them. They came to see a show.
Right.
And so we played our asses off. And Robin literally did a front flip. I'm not joking. This is not an exaggeration. He did a front flip on a table of this, like, I don't know, like 6 redneck guys sitting around a table drinking beer, okay? And they're all fucking American flag like Confederate flag bandanas and like screaming like play Guns N' Roses. And Rob Endar does a fucking front flip across their table and just shatters all their beers, all their pitchers, everything, just everywhere, and just spills shit everywhere. Meanwhile, you know, he's got eyeliner on, nail polish. These guys, like, seriously, the guys were like, all right, look, here's your money, just leave now, leave before you die, go. like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you need to leave. And we were like, okay, bye-bye. And we left, and that was it. Like, we couldn't even try to find a place to sleep for the night because it was so bad. And I, like, looked at Rob, and I was like, did you do a front flip on a table? Like, you don't even do that, like, normally. And he goes, yeah, fuck those fucking redneck assholes. And I was like, oh, shit. And it was just like, all right, moving on to the next town, I guess. But, yeah, that was the worst show that I've ever played. Those guys hated us. They fucking wanted to kill us. They did not enjoy us one single bit. And ever since then, I think it was after that, like the next time I really heard or saw or anything about El Paso, Texas, was that scene from Kill Bill when Bill's brother's just like in the middle of the desert. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's like his, like, do you know what scene I'm talking about?
I know exactly the scene you're talking about.
Okay. So I was like, I'm pretty sure like his mobile home is where we played. Like, I mean, I know it's not, but I'm like, that felt like that. It felt like that a lot. Like, it was just, dude, it was bad, man. I mean, it was really bad. They just, but 3 kids came and we played our fucking ass off for those 3 kids. And we heard from them afterwards, and they were stoked. They were like, they continue to be fans. So, I mean, that's the payoff, you know, that's what it's all about. Maybe next time, you know, if we would have went back to El Paso, there would have been
6,
you know, 12 kids or, you know, whatever. Fuck it. I mean, that's what it's all about. You do it because, you know, the fact of the matter is they came to play. Dude, imagine driving an hour and a half and then somebody chumps it up because they're like, oh, no one's here. That would have sucked for those guys. So, you know, play your heart out every show. You play your heart out every show. You can't compromise that. You know, you can't say, oh, there's not a lot of people. I won't give it 100%, you know.
You never know.
You always have to give it 100%. You give it more than 100%. You give 150 and because you know this as much as I do. There are thousands of members of any band. If you're lucky, there are thousands because, yeah, sure, there's 4 or 5 of us on stage, but without every single kid in the audience, without every single person in the audience, you mean nothing. You have no bearing. You have nothing.
Right. Every
single fan is just as important as every single member of the band, because without them, you would have nothing.
I agree.
You always gotta, you know, I've always had that mentality of you got to play your heart out for every single one of them. I don't care if it's one kid. That one kid came and he paid and he's standing and he's watching. Give him a show.
You've been listening to DBC. He was most recently playing with Screw 32 for their reunion, but due to internal conflicts, he, along with the guitarist and drummer, left the band a while after this interview. He's currently working on a new, as yet unnamed project that will be amazing because, well, he's in it. Trust me, that means it will be epic. I'll showcase the band as soon as it's ready so you can all hear it as soon as I do, and I have a feeling we will not be disappointed. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Please, if you like what you hear, give the show a rating and leave a comment on the 3 Gigs iTunes page. It really does help us reach new people. And you can find out more about DBC and 3 Gigs at 3gigspodcast.com. Feel free to like and share us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. just search 3 Gigs Podcast. You can't miss us, and we'd love to hear from you. Our theme music for this episode was Good Man by the Lobstrosities, and the closing song was Winners and Losers from the Outlaw Dance Society. Thank you so much for listening. Once again, my name is Dominic Davey, and this has been 3 Gigs, and we'll see you next time.
Rising and falling, it's just like a wave. These writings, these people, they're my saving grace. Cleansing, baptized, thank you, I'm saved. Cleansing, baptized, thank you, I'm saved. Winners and losers, they all look the same. We're born to live and rot in our grave. He sees this world, he falls apart, he's killing himself. Winners and losers, they all look the same. Killing himself. Winners and losers, they rest in their graves.
If you're like me, t-shirts are probably a staple of your wardrobe, which is why I'm really excited to have Fresh Clean Tees as a sponsor of this podcast. Seriously, these are the best t-shirts you're ever going to wear. They look and feel great. I really love the ones I have. There's no good reason to overpay for a t-shirt, no matter what sort of fancy cotton they claim to be using. Fresh Clean Tees is like those popular shave clubs, but for super soft, stylish, affordable t-shirts. Getting started is simple. Choose between monthly, bi-monthly, or quarterly delivery options. Answer a few questions about your size, style, and color preferences, and that's it. Head over to freshcleantees.com right now and use promo code GIG for 20% off at checkout. Again, that's promo code GIG to take 20% off your first Fresh Clean Tees order. We thank them for supporting this podcast, and remember, when you support our sponsors, you're really supporting us.